So parts 1 and 2 covered the data and the framework. Now let's get into the conversation. So Richard Angus at Hardman and Co. sits down with Doug Lawson from MarktoMarket to go deeper on what practitioners are really dealing with right now. So why strategic acquirers are in some cases paying less than PE, which is unusual, why M&A processes are stretching out, and what AI uncertainty means in practice when buyer and sellers are trying to agree a price. So Doug also talks through what a cautious buyer actually does when they can't model the revenue risk. So let's get into the conversation.
Indeed, that was really fantastic. There are a number of questions. Unfortunately, we've only got time for a couple of them. One thought is, when there's a lot of deals happening, are they highly competitive? In other words, the market's deciding because, like selling your house, you get several people interested. Or do you find they are mainly private equity companies, as you've said, have decided that this is the area they wish to be involved in, and that's the next step, is that the deal is basically done in terms of whether it's funding, and it could be in the case of mergers and acquisitions, whether the two sides get together very quickly because they realize that is going to be the answer for the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
Or is it like that? Is it active under the surface, I think, was what we're trying to get at.
Yeah, I think that what's happening is obviously in terms of the equity raising, you've got lots of money being thrown at AI businesses. So whether that's the large language models or other people that are using AI to build other applications, got a lot of money being thrown at that. And you saw that 81% of the capital is going towards those businesses. So everything else is missing out. In the M&A markets, I think it's slightly different. I think in the M&A markets, it's more processes are taking a long time. They've been taking a long time for a long time. And that's really because due diligence, I think it's a number of things. It's more due diligence. It's more types of due diligence. So rather than just doing the traditional financial and legal DD, we need to do cyber, we need to do risk, we need to do management, we need to do et cetera, et cetera. Lots more DD being done. But I think the other thing at the moment, which is a very live issue, is the AI impact on M&A markets. M&A markets have actually been really strong. But I know that processes are taking longer, and this kind of AI impact is a key reason, because if you're investing in a business, whether it's if I'm investing in a traditional software business today, I don't really know what the impact is going to be on that business of the large language models. To what extent is it going to be affected by that? So I'm probably going to wait. I'm probably going to look at a few more months trading. Maybe I'm going to walk away from the deal. But it's definitely, I would say that, the buyers in tech, and especially in traditional software, will be behaving more prudently than usual at the moment as they just digest and assess this impact.
And so you mentioned that the strategic buyers or strategic people are less involved than private equity. Do you think that's because they've got enough to do as it is, or because they think they're going to sit back and watch and see what happens in the rest of the world for the next year or two before they actually have to make a decision?
Yeah, well, actually, Richard, that was more talking to the valuation part rather than the volume part. So I guess that when it comes to the valuations, it was, a surprise to see strategics paying less with private equity, not competing with private equity. In terms of price, which I think maybe tells you something, sort of suggests that maybe there's some PE that are overpaying in this market to deploy capital. In terms of actual activity at the moment, yes, I think maybe you are seeing a bit of a decline at the moment in terms of these very acquisitive software companies and tech companies, the kind of volume of deals that they're doing at the moment. There's certainly other sectors where the volume of transactions and the cadence of transactions is much faster than it is in software at the moment.
So that point about buyers waiting for another quarter or two of trading data before committing is something we're hearing consistently from advisors right now. It's a rational response to genuine uncertainty about what these businesses look like in 2 years. So in part 4, we've got Neil Blankstone from First Equity. He'll be joining Richard and Doug for the broader picture. So we've got AIM, the UK capital markets ecosystem, what's coming from regulators, and what actually makes investors commit. So part 4 is up next.